Hello, President Johnson. This is Joe Stats. I'm Chief Coin Operator at the United States Mint. Would like to put you on a coin, Mr. President, a new Johnson silver dollar.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, we've had a lot of success with the Kennedy dollar already, and we're rolling out the Nixon dollar next month.
Well, can you get that open? Well, please get off the phone, honey.
I won't take up much of your time, Mr. President. We can have a photographer come down to you. We can do the whole thing at your ranch. How does that sound?
I want to do it if you people want me to do it. I don't want to do it just because they serve American government one else.
Oh, no, it's not at all like that, Mr. President. It would be an honor to have you.
All right, it'll be done.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. I'll have my men call yours. We'll arrange a date and time.
Joe, is your father the one that makes clothes?
Yes, Mr. President. How do you know?
You'll need me some real lightweight slacks. He just made up on his own, sent to me 3 or 4 months ago. It's a kind of a light brown and a light green, rather soft green and soft brown, and they're real lightweight. Now I need about 6 pairs for summer wear. I ordered a couple, maybe 3 of the light brown, kind of a almost powder color, like powder on a lady's face, and then maybe some other light pair if you had a blue in that, or black. I'd have 1 blue and 1 black. I need about 6 pairs to wear around in the evening when I come in from work, and I need about a ½ inch too tight in the waist. No, I don't know. You all just guessed at them. I think so, but once you have the measurements there, I can send you a pair. I want them a ½ inch larger in the waist than they were before, except I want 2 or 3 inches of stuff left back in there so I can take them up. I vary 10 to 15 pounds a month. So leave me at least 2.5 to 3 inches in the back where I can let them out or take them up, and make these a ½ inch bigger in the waist. Make the pockets at least 1 inch longer. My money and my knife, everything fall out. We just... Now, the pockets, when you sit down in the chair, the knife and your money comes out. So I needed at least another inch in the pockets. Now, another thing, the crotch down where your nuts hang is always a little too tight. So when you make them up, give me an inch that I can let out there, because they cut me. They're like riding a wire fence. These are almost the best that I've had anywhere in the United States. When I gain a little weight, they cut me under there. So, believe me, you never did have much margin there. But see if you can't leave me about an inch from where the zipper ends, round under my back of my buttonhole, so I can let it out there if I need to. Now, be sure you got the best zippers in them. These are good that I have, and if you get those to me, I would sure be grateful. Now, I don't guess there's any chance of getting a better lightweight shirt, sports shirt to go with that slack, is it? That same color? If you might look around, I wear about a 17, extra long. Yeah, I sure would. I don't know whether that's too heavy for a shirt or not. I sure want to light as I can in that same color matching it. If you don't mind, you figure out somebody up there that makes good shirts and get me one to match each one of them, and if they could, we'll order some more. I just sure will appreciate this. I need it more than anything, and now that's about it. I guess I could get a jacket made out of that if I wanted to, couldn't I? They sent me some jackets for summer earlier, but they were way too short. They hit me up about halfway down my belly, out much longer waist. But I thought if they had material like that, and somebody could make me a jacket, I'd send them a sample to copy from. Okay, I'll do that now. Now, you give this boy the address, because I'm running for a funeral. and give him a dress just how to dress these trousers. So we'll send them to you. Don't you get the measurements out of them and add a half inch to the back, give us an inch to the pockets, and about an inch underneath so we let them out.
Want to play the way it worked?
Yeah.
I think that's fine. Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Yes.
You're all right, Luke?
Yes.
C. Yeah, sorry.
Major.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, sweet, nice, yeah. Successful expedition then.
Could have got something going.
Oh, you should have seen it. We had a blazing fire. It was beautiful. Oh, the heat coming off it.
I was sunburned.
Yeah, no.
Sure, not.
Yeah, it was really something. It's a shame you missed it, but yeah, it's just went out. Literally just went out.
It was huge.
Right. Okay.
But that's good stuff.
Do you have any matches?
Oh, yes, I
You might.
do.
Did you like the fire to begin with?
You know, it just kind of just happened. Just kind of wild. Yeah, it just kind of came out of nowhere. Hey, here's your match.
Okay.
Yeah, it was biblical, really.
Sorry about that route in the end. I mean, I thought it was going to be a shortcut, but it kind of just took us
Oh, it's
further
okay.
away.
I
It
mean,
was nice.
Yeah, it's
it
very
was
scenic,
there was
right?
just a
Yeah.
bit more like clambering than I thought there would be.
Sure, yeah, no. Oh, wait. Oh, there's something going on there. Yeah, that's not much bad. I think I see a spark going.
Okay.
Oh,
Good job.
oh,
I should
jeez.
have-
Just been
I saw that
wrong
coming.
direction for
I
that.
did not agree.
I think
I thought it would be
that should work.
Jeez.
But yeah, no, sorry about that. I know it was pretty timed and stuff like that.
Yeah.
No, I'm pretty good.
Spring record. Yeah.
You know, it was a nice scenic route.
Yeah, totally the weather stayed nice.
Mhm.
It's good.
So you've been that way before?
Yeah, I have. And you know what? I just remember it. I remember just being like hopping a skip up to here, and you know, I was there last summer, and it was just I was going by it so easy, and then I don't know. Again, sorry.
Yeah.
All I can say
And
is
then these
sorry.
shorts.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah, I'm glad I brought the like texture mover.
Yeah.
Oh yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got about 8 on these.
Oh god.
Yeah.
I suppose
That's
you can sort of hold it near the fire and hope that
true. Yeah, they usually you can burn them off.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll do
Yeah.
that later.
It's beautiful up
Yeah,
here.
yeah, pretty good view. It's the highest point in the Texas Hill Country, and
Okay.
so on the Harriman Plain. Yeah, I mean, probably good spot to try to come
Oh
to
yeah. I was
initially. Yeah.
thinking that.
Probably see pretty far.
What's it called?
Yeah.
The Harriman's Plain, yeah.
What way are we facing then? Compass Boy?
Not sure.
Wait, did you say Harriman was?
Yeah, that's what's up.
Oh, I think Lyndon Johnson's ranch used to be kind of up this way, was
Oh,
it
you
not?
know what? Yeah, I think it is around here, yeah.
Look how we look. Oh.
That sounds good.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's pretty nuts. Yeah, this is pretty lavish.
You think that's it?
It must be. Yeah, no. Yeah, it is. Yeah, there's like wrought iron gates. There's like.
shack.
I'm
No,
literally-
that. See, I thought it was the shack at first, but that's just a gatehouse. And then there's like.
I'm not facing.
Yeah, wrought iron, kind of. It says LBJ.
Oh,
carved
right,
inside.
okay.
It's
Oh,
It's
whoa,
crazy.
right, I need to look at it.
Oh, he's got peacock.
Does he go by?
Yeah, do you want to see?
What are we talking about? It's just like the tiniest.
No, it's just behind the shack.
Oh wow. Oh no, right. Okay, yeah, you weren't kidding. Oh wow, yeah.
I know it's pretty.
Oh, pretty ostentatious games.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, okay, on you go, yeah. I didn't see the peacock though.
Oh, it was just sort of patting
Was it
about.
one peacock or was it?
Oh, there's
I don't
something.
know.
Yeah.
Several
I think it looks like a
It's
country
just having
club.
one peacock.
Yeah, it does
Yeah.
look like a country club.
Well, we don't, I wonder if you're allowed to buy one peacock.
Yeah, surely they come in a dozen at least.
Yes.
Yeah, animal food. So,
And then what do they do with all the peahens, you know? Because I guess people want peacocks around the, or, you know, sort of like.
yeah,
No, you can
What
turn
did they say?
around.
Hey, maybe
that's
actually, yeah.
really
Maybe Lyndon's been working on the peahen cookbook, you know,
Oh, yeah.
500 recipes for home cook.
But I probably
Yeah, no
won't
problem.
publish it under his own name, we'll use a pen.
Oh yeah, absolutely, like Maurice Stalebody, you know, like something in, you know, it's speculative, like Maurice Stalebody, you know, because if it said President Lyndon Johnson, like, you know, that's gonna, yeah, I mean,
People will think it's ghostwritten.
exactly,
Yes.
people think it's ghostwritten, you won't take it on his own merits as a cook. People will be thinking like, oh, I bet this is just one of those,
Yeah,
one of those
he's
gimmicky
just passing
things.
his time in retirement. with,
Absolutely,
like,
yeah.
teaching himself how to cook and his really basic recipes
Yeah.
like beans on toast.
But I don't know, I bet he's a good cook, you know, I bet he's probably had a lot of practice, a lot of time in that big kitchen, and,
Yeah, a lot
you
of
know.
exotic meats to play around
Of
with.
course, yeah, probably on all the trips around the world and all his diplomat friends just sending like the most amazing things. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I don't know.
That's
There's
interesting.
something to it.
Yeah.
I like the idea of that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Maybe we should tomorrow take a trip down.
For breakfast.
Hey, maybe. I don't think we
hosting
let
some
in.
dignitaries.
Exactly,
It's
yeah.
just
Busy with all that.
Yeah, we can pretend we're dignitaries.
Peahen on toast.
From somewhere small.
Somewhere small.
Yeah.
Oh, it's funny,
From a small island.
Yeah, small island. Yeah.
My uncle Bobby used to tell this story about Lyndon Johnson. It's funny, it's like, I haven't thought about it in years, but he used to tell it at Christmas sometimes. It's back when he was working in a steakhouse. He worked in this steakhouse for years. It was this like wee place sort of like in Georgetown, just outside Washington DC. And it's, you know, it was the kind of place that was sort of, you know, like the white tablecloth and nice, but certainly more like a family place. Like somewhere you might go for like an anniversary or like a special birthday, like that kind of thing. Not like, you know, it didn't have like the Washington bigwigs around.
Did they have a wine cellar?
No, they probably didn't have a wine cellar. Probably the kind of place that had a couple of bottles of wine.
Right.
But it was nice, and we went there a couple of times. It was a nice place, but I think this particular night he was working and it was dead. I mean, really, there was like, you know, 2 tables in, and they were like, you know, every time someone would move, it'd scare the other table, and vice versa. You know, it was just like that weird kind of silence. You know.
Oh, do you not have any music or anything?
Nah, I don't think they ever did. No. But so Bobby usually did the bar, but on this night nobody's ordering drinks. So Bobby's put on busboy duties. And you know, like, he's not bothered about that. He's had to muck in
That's
wherever.
pretty job.
Yeah, whatever, you know.
You just keep your head down.
But I think this night was a bit different because he just found out, probably the same day, he found out he was going to be a grandfather. And Bobby was only about 35 at this point, you know. So, pretty crazy stuff, yeah. I mean, my cousin Cindy, like, she'd been born really young, and then, you know, she was now having a kid young, so. And you know, this was the kind of place that was mainly teenagers working, high schoolers, a couple of college graduates, and Grandpa Bobby, you know. So it was like, you know, what for ages just seemed like, you know, life's fine and passing idly by, and it's all good. You know, suddenly kind of came into sharp relief, like, oh God, is this it? Am I here? Is this what, you know, what's amounting to, you know? So I think that was going through his head, and he was a bit distracted as he was clearing tables when he hears this voice from the other end of the room. He's in the kitchen washing some dishes and hears, "Table for 7, please." And he like rattles the dishes in the dish rack. It's so loud, reverberating across the whole place. And he knows right away, Congressman, of course, that's the type. But this particular guy, I don't know what was going on. He was just like, would not stop talking, just constantly. He would say things like, "You know, you wouldn't think to look at me now, but I used to ride a donkey to school. We call them by the name of Emmanuel. They never seem to like that much. And you know, we get harsh winters out there in Texas, cold as any of you fellas get out there on the coast. And we'd have to sidle up to my daddy in bed to keep him warm in the winter. He'd call out Sam, Lyndon, and we'd have to come running up and jump into bed like 2 hot water balls to keep him warm." These kind of crazy folksy stories over and over, and you know, he's trying to tune it out. The good thing about being a busboy is you kind of just come and go, and no one's really looking at you, and you kind of just, you know, keep your head down. But comes time to take their order, and usually it would fall on Jim to take the order for this kind of table. And that's good. Jim was a nice guy. I mean, you know, I met him a couple of times. A kind of dopey sort of guy, friendly. I think Bobby used to say he would always disarm tables that were difficult, you know, and he was just so nice. But I don't know if there was maybe a little bit of just throw Jim to the wolves kind of situation. Doesn't complain, you know, on you go, Jim.
Human sacrifice.
But Bobby was feeling, I guess, sentimental, and you know, he was like, "You know what, Jim, I'll take the order. Don't worry, I'll sort this out." And he goes over to the table, and not a minute after he gets there, this guy who's been talking the whole time grabs him in by the lapel of his jacket, holds him right up close to his face, And he goes, I tell you, son, listen here. You don't need a menu 10-page receipt. In San Antonio, all you need is steak medium rare and bourbon till you Pepsi straight. And it's pretty aggressive, absolutely.
Yeah, that's pretty aggressive.
But he's then getting a good look at this guy. And it's like, he's like a skinny kid. He's like about the same age as Bobby, maybe younger even, you know? And he's like in this big oversized suit. Yeah, he's in this big oversized suit. He's playing the big man. He wants a little bit of like, hey, you know, play along.
Yeah.
You know, make me out to look like I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, maybe look good in front of my new friends.
Exactly, yeah. And, you know, Bobby's quite happy to oblige, but this other guy at the table pipes up out of nowhere and says, actually, Lyndon, I think you'll find a martini pairs much better with steak. I think we'll have a round of martinis with. And from there, his face just drops, like down to the floor. I mean, he is absolutely humiliated. They take the drinks over and he's not said another word, he's just sat there like. And then by the time the steaks are out, he's up to left, hasn't even stuck around for his food. So, yeah.
That's,
Yeah, it's mortifying, I guess.
Absolutely, yeah.
all bark, no bite.
All bark, no bite.
I love martini myself, though.
Yeah.
I mean, there's something to that.
I think
Yeah.
it seems like that would kind of offset the like richness of the steak and the like.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
There's something to it, absolutely.
I prefer an old steak with my
Really?
steak friend. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like
Breakfast.
that would put a lot of people off. Well, it's actually funny that you mentioned that because I also have a story about Lyndon Johnson.
Oh, thanks. Yeah.
Yeah, but you know, I could also do you a song as well.
Oh, yeah, hey, yeah, that's exciting.
So how about we flip a coin?
Oh yeah, sure. I mean, yeah, let's flip a few, you know.
Yeah, we'll do heads for a song.
Okay, yeah.
And then tails for a story.
All right, sweet.
Yeah.
Tails for a
I'll flip a coin.
Yeah.
Take your time. Couple of
Thanks. What we
It's
got?
okay if you draw.
Heads. Got heads over here. One head.
Oh, that's a
Tails.
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 Head.
Heads.
Two heads, one tails.
Two heads, one tail.
All right, heads it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. You got Pamela.
Why in the hell do I have to be humiliated by giving you all a day's notice I'm going to New York? You have the mayor announce up there publicly now that I'm going.
I haven't done nothing of the sort. I sent a telegram like you asked, informing them that what time you'd be there. I didn't ask anybody to make an announcement or nothing.
Now, I'm not going to tell you a goddamn thing because y'all can't keep a secret. Now, I'm going to start leaving at 4:30 in the afternoon if you keep doing me this way.
I didn't know nothing was a secret. I just thought that they would want to know what time you were coming so that they could fix you some lunch or, I don't know, make you a coffee or something.
How do you expect me to operate? The mayor got up and made a public speech today at lunch announcing my arrival in New York. And I told Jack, well, I didn't tell you all, and keep it just as confidential as you can.
Now, I haven't seen Jack for 3 weeks. And you know as well as I do that Jack talks out his ass. I don't know what to tell you. I made a mistake, okay? I'm sorry. Okay?
I'm going to try to cancel my trip. I'll tell him I'm in the humor of not going at all, as you have to tell him.
Well, I think you should go. People are excited that you're coming. You must be excited since you made that speech. I mean, what are you nervous about? Is it security or something? Because they'll have
I'm just
security.
going to get a law passed or something. But by God, we'll make it a felony if you fellas tell this.
Well, okay, I'm sorry. All right? I made a mistake.
Okay, we're gonna sing Jackson Dam. You'll find the lyrics, of course, in your little books there. Feel free to sing along when we get there. Okay. 1, 2. Okay, this one. 1, 2, 3. flushed. The jacks of them never held back much. Didn't want to say it outright. I'm not pressing you anymore.
Pressing me.
My hands are tied, what can I do?
You're the master of the sand.
You're an old man in the house.
You want me to be helpful.
Why don't you take a drink? Then I'll be stumbling, staggering, girdled and flushed. The jacks of them never held back much. Didn't want to say it outright. Yeah, we're all stumbling, staggering, girdled and flushed. The jacks of them never held back much. Didn't want to say it outright. Very nice, very nice.
Well, you know, I've got a little bit of a connection, a little story about Lyndon Johnson myself, actually.
Okay.
But you know, likewise, you know, I could do you a song or I could tell you a little tale. So you know, we could have.
To the
Yeah,
flip.
do the flip. Let's do the flip again.
Okay.
All right, we can do that.
So heads for a song, and we're doing tails.
Tails for a tail. Tails like tails for a tail.
Nice. We got heads over here.
Okay, I have it here. Thank you very
Oh,
much.
it's unanimous.
Well, there you go.
Great, all right.
Okay.
Oh boy. Howdy, buddy.
I don't hear to use the more I think of it. I don't know what in the hell. It would look like me we're getting into another Korea. I don't see what we can ever hope to get out of there with once we're committed. Driving 10,000 miles away from home and never get anywhere in that area. I don't think it's worth fighting for, and I don't think we can get out.
Well, you raise a good point there, bud, and you know you've got my absolute faith and the faith of all the boys back here at home, and I just know you're going to make the right decision on this one.
Well, that pretty well puts us in the eyes of the world, though, and make it look mighty bad.
Well, I would say that we lead the world, buddy. I mean, you lead the world. Now, once again, I just trust you completely. I think you're going to make the.
Well, they impeached President though to run out, wasn't he?
Well, I mean, that's something to consider, but I doubt it. You're so beloved and just so strong, and I just truly believe you're going to do what's best for us.
Everybody I talk to has got any sense in there. They just said, oh my God, please kill us. Of course, I read Mansfield stuff this morning. It's just milk toast as it can be.
Yeah, well, you know, I don't read any of the Yankee papers. I wouldn't put much stock in what Mansfield has to say. I wouldn't read that at all. Now, you just go with your gut, but it's never steered you wrong.
This is a terrible thing we're getting ready to do.
Well, sure is. Sure is.
Okay, we're going to sing Charleston Chew. Be right next to that on the page there. Okay, feel free to sing along the chorus. All right. 1, 2, 1, 2. Every Sunday after church, digging foxholes in the midday dirt. Didn't have to ask, didn't have to reply. Lindy's playing baseball and it's ride or die.
bad, now he's running the zoo. I said I'm not the type of kid to change the rules. Chewing on Charleston before I left school. One lemon to a port suits me real good. I brought him up to bat, now he's running the zoo.
Strike one! Strike two! Foul!
Out into the ocean, leave the world behind. Little Johnson laying on my mind. He's ready in position and he misses a few. I brace myself for the 0-1-2. But cool as you like, he keeps playing on. Hits himself a homer in the Texas sun. Catch another wave right out of time. I stick to Jew in Charleston, long past my prime.
Well, I'm not the type of kid to change the rules on, you know. I've been chewing on Charleston since well before I left school, and 11 to a quart, well, that suits me just fine. I brought that kid up to bed, and well, he's running the whole damn zoo. I mean, let's do that again now, go on. I'm not gonna change the rules on you, honey, no. No, I've been chewing on Charleston since well before I left school, and 1 lemon to a quart, that's fine by me. Brought that kid up to bed, and running the whole damn thing.
Lovely. Thank you. Yeah. Well, I also have a story that I can tell about Lyndon Johnson. Fake connection. But as always, I can also sing a song. So let's put it together.
let's put that
in.
Flipping some
And
more
we're gonna
noise.
find you. Yeah, it's quite hard to see.
Tails. Got tails over here.
Tails over here.
Tails.
Tails all around.
Tails.
Tails all around.
Man, that's good. We haven't had a tail yet. From we're flipping anyway. So.
No?
Right, well, I'll tell you the story then. So, I knew this guy. JR was his name. And
Is
my
that
old
his
name? Maybe? First name JR? I don't know.
Yeah.
Never really asked. I don't think he would have responded anyway. He was a very gruff kind of cowboy, leathery face, very wrinkly, sort of, you know, John Wayne kind of thing.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, sure.
Scout leader.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You know, used to give us classes, and this was a few years ago. I mean, I'm not of Scout age anymore, but when I was of Scout age, he was the guy. And he said that he knew Lyndon Johnson from years before, when, you know, like, you know, we're talking 10, 15, 20 years before I was ever there, because, you know, there's a fair age difference between Lyndon and I. We're not peers.
Yeah, fair to say.
Yeah.
But yeah, he said that his sort of bold claim was that he was the basis for Lyndon Johnson's like oration, his like body language, his manner of speaking and everything,
Okay,
as a
yeah.
public speaker, which is obviously bullshit. But that was the claim he made, and we sort of worked our way out that he wasn't a fun scout leader. He wouldn't do the cool stuff with us. You know, he would get us like knots and, you know, like, yeah, some bushcraft and, you know,
The little flag thing.
the flag, yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say sophomore, but it's semaphore. I'm
Yes,
pretty sure.
yes.
Oh, like flag signaling?
Flag signaling, yeah,
Oh,
big fan of that. But we weren't a big fan of that.
Mm,
We were a big fan of like playing games.
sure.
Yeah, and like tag.
He sounds a bit like a
Big
hard
tag time. But they don't give you a badge for tag. So you gotta
No, we don't get the
gonna
tag
do the
badge.
hard graft. But we figured that if we could talk to him about Lyndon Johnson, he'd get a little bit misty-eyed, and he would, you know, he would sort of soften up a little bit, and he would, you know, and then we could play some games. So we ended up getting the full story about, we asked him, so you've always told us that, you modeled, you were like the role model for Lyndon, and this is like what he bases himself on. Tell us more about that. And then he told us more about that, and he said that when Lyndon was maybe 15 years old, mid-high school, there was a rift between him and his parents, because he had these grand ambitions to go up to California and, study law or whatever it was he wanted to do. And I think that his parents wanted him to stay on the ranch, maybe even that ranch over there, I don't know the same one. I don't know if it's passed down through generations, but it may have been that one. But he didn't want to do that. So, his dad was a bit annoyed, and, his mum was a bit frosty as well. And Lyndon was a very good, already even age 15, he was a very good public speaker. He was big into debate clubs and that sort of thing. And there was a championship across state that the schools were going to go to, and they were in the running for the grand finals. But they needed a guardian to take them there. And he didn't, Lyndon didn't want to ask his parents because there was a bit of bad blood there. So he asked JR as a sort of upstanding member of society and kind of a, chaperone, exactly, kind of a fatherly figure. And JR was delighted. He said, absolutely, I'll take you to this competition. So they drive across and they go to the big club final. And apparently Lyndon's really good. He's not a popular kid, doesn't have a lot of friends, kind of a wee little, a little bit of a runt. But when he is, when he is doing his public speaking, he is, he really sets it ablaze. And JR was saying that when he was watching, it was Lyndon's turn. He was up to bat proverbially to do his thing, and it was there's always stuck in my mind. It was sewage reform was the debate subject that they went, which is so bizarre. Because it's not like religion, war.
It's important in its own way.
Yes. We can't
You
do
need
that.
it. So I need it. If you can make sewage reform interesting.
Sounds sexy.
Yeah. Really, the sky's the limit.
Yeah. I think that was actually the Democratic primaries. Was just picking him up and saying, look, make this sound good. President.
Hey, yeah.
There you go, buddy.
Yeah, perfect.
15. So he gets up on stage and he is just like, he's a spectacle to behold. He's like this, he comes Herculean figure, just booming voice and just charisma dripping from every pore, and just everybody's they're wowed, they're stunned by his performance. And it was in that moment that JR was thinking to himself, gosh, that's just like me, this kid. Wow, this really handsome, well-spoken, articulate boy is just like me, the leathery-faced old cowboy. It's uncanny. So that's really the extent of the evidence that I have for that. But that was his bold claim, and he said that he did give specifics. He did say that there were turns of phrase that he used, like he was kind of a biblical man, so there were like on the word of the Almighty God, he would maybe drop that into, I don't know at what point when talking about sewage, he would work that into. JR was convinced that it was just like my protege. So he was. He was delighted, and they won. Lyndon and his class, they won the debate. Unsurprisingly, because after all that,
It proves that you can polish a turd.
You can polish a turd, exactly. Excellent. That's a lot of fun. So they go home, and JR really wants to tell Lyndon's parents about this miraculous thing that he's just seen, and he's inspired. But he couldn't because of the aforementioned rift. So he would tell the neighbours and the ranch hands and say, you should have seen this boy, he was on fire. And he said that he noticed that Lyndon's parents would maybe crack a window or just sort of be leaning, just eavesdropping near the door because they wanted to hear about his escapades, but I don't know if it was a pride thing, they just didn't really want to, they don't want to be there to see it, bit of a shame. But there you go, that's the obviously untrue story that
Fed to you as a boy.
Fed to me as a boy, impressionable young man.
Bobby here. How you holding up after yesterday? Feeling all right?
Oh, I'm aching all over. I got a headache and my damn bones, hips hurt me, and I've been standing on my right leg. Your hip ever hurt you?
Well, certainly did after yesterday with standing around at that barbecue all day. I mean, I must have flipped about 200 burgers, but I had a great time. Thanks for having me come over and, help with the cookout. It was a great pleasure.
It was just perfect. Oh, you were so restrained and so effective, and you looked like God, just as fresh as a daisy.
Oh, well, I certainly didn't feel as fresh as a daisy. I sweated through 3 shirts. I had to have Ladybird go up and get some from your room, and oh God, the sleeves were so long I had to roll them up 6 or 7 times. It was crazy. I looked ridiculous, but thanks for the compliment.
Well, that's the way you handled it. You handled it just perfect, and I couldn't improve on it, and I just wanted all of you to take whatever little comfort that you knew that Ladybird and I loved you.
Oh, that's too kind of you, Lyndon. I'm a little worried. I'm just worried I maybe didn't cook some of the burgers long enough, and I'd hate for anyone to get sick, and some of them were looking a little pink around the edges. Did anybody say anything? I feel awful.
Everybody makes some mistakes, and they've got to write them out. And you got to suffer with them and understand them, but I just don't know why anybody can do it better than that.
Oh, well, that's very kind of you, Lyndon. You're very forgiving. And yeah, I guess I've got to be a little less hard on myself. Thanks for that. Speak to you soon.
Okay, so should I get right to my story?
Yeah, love to hear it. Yeah, please.
Okay, so my cousin Pamela actually works for Lyndon Johnson.
Okay, yeah, wow.
So she was his secretary, just when he was like sort of like a low-level congressman, and then like as he climbed the ranks, he kind of brought her along with him.
Did she stay with him during the presidency?
I think like the first couple of years, a little bit, and then she was like, "This is a bit much.
Oh yeah,
I'm gonna
different kind of job at that point.
Yeah, it's a wee bit different, a bit more demanding.
Sure.
I would say. But yeah, so she would see him around the office, as you can imagine, and but I remember there was one time in particular that like really stood out. So just to set some context, so Pamela and her fiance at the time, like they're married now obviously, but they were going through a bit of a rough patch. So they weren't really, they were sort of like passing ships.
Okay.
So he was training to be a doctor at the hospital way over the other side of town, doing back-to-back night shifts. Pamela's working at like a 9 to 5 in the office. So they're like, he comes home from work, she's asleep. She comes home from work, he's at work. So it's kind of like, they hardly got to see each other. So they decided that they should like meet up every lunch and like, have a bit of a, catch up.
Nice idea.
So
where'd they go?
So they actually went, she could drive out to the cemetery beside the hospital.
Okay.
Because it was actually really nice.
Yeah.
Like, I think they had like a, well, yeah, I know.
It's open as well.
Yeah.
Right forward.
Yeah, it's just really convenient.
Yeah. But it was a nice place.
It was really nice, yeah. The groundskeeper that worked there was, really great. So yeah, they would go there, and because Lyndon was quite like flexible with Pamela about when she like got back from lunch, like he wasn't like, "Where have you been?" if she came back like 10 minutes late. So she would go over there, and on beautiful sunny days, they would have like a picnic and like sit on a blanket and have sandwiches. Someone might bring some soup, and it was gorgeous, and they would catch up. But then on the other side of the coin, there was when it was pouring with rain, they would just be like eating sandwiches in the car and in the hospital parking lot. So yeah, that wasn't super romantic. But yeah, and I think this particular lunch had been one of those sad sandwich in the car affairs, and I think someone had forgotten the soup actually, so they were just eating dry bread in the car. Yeah, so yeah, it wasn't great.
It was that old behaviour.
Yeah. So she's coming back into the office, and she's like, not feeling her best because she's just like, oh, that was rough. But as she's coming along the corridor, she like starts to hear music coming from the office, and she's like, it's funny because there's not. I mean, we don't have a radio or a record player or anything, so I don't know what's going on. She gets closer to the office, and also it's strange that the office, like, someone's in. Because Lyndon never had, like, lunch in the office.
Where did you go?
Well, you usually went to the like, canteen or
Oh,
something.
sure, yeah. Got a good discount, I'm sure.
Yeah, well, I think they eat for free.
Oh.
Yeah,
Wow.
and then it's also a good, it's also a good, like, way of, like, talking to other senators.
Oh, yeah, sure.
And schmoozing, so he was always in there. So she's like, I'm pretty sure I locked that. But she's coming along the corridor, hearing this music, and she's like, what's going on? So she gets through the door, and picture this, okay? She goes into the office, desks have been pushed up against the walls. There's a gramophone on a table. It's playing, I think she said Glenn Miller.
Okay,
Actually,
right.
yeah. Playing Glenn Miller. Yep. Lyndon is there, and there's this other man, and I think he must be a senator, because, like, they all wear the same suits and stuff, so they're both there, and the music's playing, there's a half-drunk bottle of whiskey in the corner, and the two of them are dancing. They're like spinning. Yeah, well, it starts off a little bit of a slow dance, and then Lyndon sort of like takes this guy by the hand and spins him, and then I think he even tries to do a bit of a dip, but the guy sort of stumbles. But they're like laughing their heads off. They're having the best time. And
Is
so,
this like prom? Are they at prom?
sort of seems a bit like prom, but just like a two-person prom.
Yeah.
But yeah, so she walks in the office, and Lyndon sees her, and he's like, Pamela, come on in, join the party. This is Fred William. He's the Democratic congressman from Florida, and he has agreed to support us on the Jackson Dam project. Isn't that right, Fred? Fred just is like, yes, that's right. Oh, I can't wait for that dam to be built. Shall we have another drink to celebrate? He says. So Lyndon picks up the bottle of whiskey, fills up 2 little coffee cups. He's like, Pamela, actually, do you want one of these? Gets a 3rd coffee cup, fills it up. Then, as they're about to go, 3, 2, 1, cheers, this guy way ahead of Lyndon knocks it back. As he's knocking it back, Lyndon just chucks it into the plant pot beside him. And no, I don't know. No. Yeah, well, was he think he was going to poison Pamela as well?
Oh yeah, I forgot
But yeah, so, and Pamela looks into the plant pot, and she's like, the plant is sitting in this much whiskey.
So he had been drinking the whole time then?
No, he had been drinking the whole time. He'd been like,
Right.
he'd been like sort of saucing up this guy to get him to like, come onto the dam. Yeah, pretty crazy,
Underhand
right?
tactics. That's
Yeah.
for sure.
Underhand tactics from Lyndon Johnson.
Sure. No.
Pretty wild stuff.
Well, I'll give you my story, I suppose.
Please.
So mine comes from, well, it sort of starts with my dad. Now, my dad, I don't really know if he ever had any friends. But if he did have a friend, it was this guy, Jock.
Okay.
Now Jock would come and hang around my dad's work. He ran a gas station.
Oh, yeah, I think I've already mentioned that.
Yeah, they'd like work on cars together sometimes, but always in silence. And he'd give Jock some freebies from the, give him his pack of Chesterfields and a Charleston tube.
Okay, pretty good combination.
So yeah, those two never really talked. But when I was helping my dad at his gas station, Jock would come and find me when I was stacking the shelves and tell me all sorts of tall tales about himself. And one of the things he used to say actually was that he grew up either in the town or the next town over, the little tiny 1-horse town that Lyndon Johnson grew up in.
Okay.
Anyway, regardless of the same town, next town, they went to the same school. They shared a school, the same elementary school. There were only about 20 boys in total in the whole place. And so when school let out at the end of the day, we'd all just run around like a big pack through the town, causing all sorts of mischief. They'd find a place to hang out, and that, that's would be their place for the week until they got turfed off.
Sounds terrifying.
Yeah, well, it's just kids.
Band of feral kids.
But always running after the pack, always right at the back was Lyndon Johnson was always at the back because he was one of the youngest in the school at the time. And he was dead small for his age as well. And right there, wheezing along next to him was Jock. Jock was big, tall, and lanky, but he had real bad asthma.
Okay.
So the pair of them were always trailing behind the bigger boys, asking them to wait up for them so they could play games. And so this one week, for some reason, they got turfed out of their usual hunts. The older boys decided that it was the Johnson Ranch, that's where they're going to hang out after school. So they're all going to pile over into those dirt fields and play all sorts of games there.
Okay. Lyndon must be pretty happy about that.
No, he wasn't. He hated it.
Oh, really?
He hated that separation, because he'd get picked on a bit by the boys. So he could always take himself away home at the end of the day, but he was stuck there for the rest. So he hated it. But his mom was so accommodating that all the boys kept coming back and back. She'd let them all in the house without wiping off their feet. And she'd make them this lemonade, except they were too poor to afford more than one lemon to a quart, so it was basically just sugar water. But the boys loved it.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And so they'd all play their games there, and after a while though, Lyndon realised he had a bit of an upper hand here, because Lyndon, he was a crier. He was one of those kids, he was always crying about everything, and every time he started to wail a little bit, his mum would flip completely and come tearing out of the house and chase off all the boys. That'd be the end of the games for the day. So Lyndon realised, okay, anytime he was losing or the rules weren't going in his way, he could just screw up his face just a tiny bit, and they'd go, okay, no, all right, you can have another chance. It's alright, don't call your mum. So after a few days, he managed to really make himself the boss of this gang of boys, because he had the nuclear option.
Absolutely, yeah.
So he got to choose the games they played every day, and he was the king always. And so he always chose them to play these military games where they were digging trenches in the dirt fields or standing in formation, and he was going down all the lines saying, drop and give me 20. And he made them take all the dirt from the trenches and build them this big mound that he'd sit on and survey the troops.
Real world Caesar, man.
Yeah. I didn't forget about Jock. He felt pity for Jock because he was picked on just like him. So Jock was his little right-hand man. He'd sit next to him on his mound. He'd take out messages to the troops. Yeah, exactly. But obviously, after a few days, this began to wear on the boys at large, and so they decided they're not going to have it anymore. They weren't going to keep coming back here. So they went up to Lyndon, real formal, and they said, "Listen, Lyndon, we love playing at your farm, but we're not coming back. We're not playing this game anymore unless we can play some baseball around there." That's all they wanted. America's baseball. Play baseball. And they're very reasonable about it too. They wanted to play baseball every Tuesday and Thursday. And every other Sunday. That was the compromise they put forward to him. And Lyndon stroked his chin legally, thought about it for a bit, and said, yeah, okay, that's fine. We'll play some baseball. On the condition that he was up to bat first, of course.
Okay, interesting choice.
I think
Because
I would want to watch someone else go first.
yeah, and then you're out first, right? Okay,
exactly. So anyway, the boys were thrilled. They didn't think he was going to go for it at all. They thought they'd be off somewhere else. So they hadn't really brought anything to play baseball. So some of the boys ran into the shed and got an old 2x4 for the bat, and they just used jumpers for the bases, and they just had to wad up clods of dirt for the ball.
I guess that'll do.
They went. And Lyndon stepped up to the plate to bat first, and the older boys, they saw that they could maybe get him out first, and they really stick it to him. So they got Jimmy Little up to pitch first, and Jimmy, he was a monster of a chap.
Right.
big meaty arms, big ham hock hands, huge kid. And he stepped out to the mound and wadded up a little ball, threw it out, and wham! Lyndon completely missed. And you could barely lift up the board, let alone hit this thing, and it was flying so fast, And so all the boys are chuckling and grinning, thinking, oh, he's going to be out first, and we can play a real game of baseball after that. And so, Jimmy went down again, wanted up an even tighter ball of dirt this time, pulled back his hand, threw out an even faster pitch, and wham! This time it hit Lyndon square in the chops, right in the face. It just covered in dirt, and the whole pitch went silent. The boys knew, just underneath that dirt, he was screwing up his face, just ready to wail for his mom. They're all going to have to go home, the game's over before it started. Second passes, and he wipes off the dirt, but he's not crying at all, he's smiling. And he goes, oh, you've got a mean arm there, Jimmy. Okay, let's go. And the boys were all so relieved, that he wasn't crying. They were like, oh, you can get walked to first. That's a hit by pitch. It's fine. You can go to first base. It's like, no, it's strike two. Let's play on. So, okay, the boys reset. Okay, let's play on. And Jimmy wads up it another clod of dirt here. But this time, of course, he's feeling sheepish. He doesn't want to hit Lyndon again. So he throws back again, and he throws just like the weakest pitch you've ever seen. It comes straight across the center of the plate, dead easy to hit, and Lyndon pulls back, and wham, this thing goes miles up in the air. I mean, you could barely see it, they were squinting all over the room, and it came flying back down, barreling down to earth, crashed through the roof of the neighbour's cow shed.
Ooh.
And Lyndon rounded to well,
That'd tear a hole right through it, yeah.
Sure would. It was a brown like. And Lyndon, he rounded the base as cool as you like. He planned it all from the start, And all the kids were cheering. They were cheering him on, the underdog, and they all called him Lyndon Bambino Johnson after that. And they all said he was going to become a pro ball player, and he wanted to too. That it was a foregone conclusion. He was going to be a pro ball player. But then a few years later, he got out of the game. I think. There was a big story about match fixing or something.
Of course.
That soured it for him. He didn't want to work with crooks.
JR speaking, how can I help you?
There's been speeches that we ought to withdraw troops, or that we stop bombing without anything in return. And they ought to be doing this. This is treason.
I think that maybe some of these hippies just think that maybe we shouldn't have started the war in the first place there, Lyndon. It's not looking mighty good just now. You got boys a million miles from home.
Now what they've got to take into account, do they want to say stop the bombing when the commander tells them that it increases the enemy fivefold and our men must retreat?
I'm not sure they're thinking about it like that, Lyndon. I think they're probably thinking that boys are dying, a lot of violence, it's maybe not a worthy cause. Sort of looking at it like it's a chessboard, and well, they just want to see their
I don't care what they like to do. I just positively don't want to do it. That's why I asked you to go out there. If I wanted to negotiate with each one of these individuals, I'd go out there. I just can't do it.
Well, why should I be the one to talk to them? You're the president. You should go out and talk to them yourselves and explain to these hippies how military tactics work, and that we should stay in there and that we should shoot some more people. Listen, I'm not going to do your
I'm
dirty
not
work.
about to stop this bombing unless they arrest me. And I take my power away from me because I've got some of my own right there, and I'm not going to shoot them in the heart. Not for a bunch of goddamn draft dodgers. Now, is that clear? Don't you tell them you talk to me at all. You just talk to Jim Jones, but I'm not sure that they understand the reason behind this.
I'm not sure I'm going to be able to paint you in a positive light there, Lyndon, but I'll certainly try. I'll give it a go.
Okay, we're going to sing Part of the Country. That's on the back of your book, sir. Feel free to sing along the chorus.
best part.
Yeah, I've been jonesing for a marshmallow.
A marshmallow. I'm just gonna take one. Oh, or you take one pass it on.
No, yeah, might as well. Just while the fire's, coming to
Yep.
Yeah.
Get the more there.
Don't worry, everyone will get a marshmallow. There's plenty to go around.
Don't worry, there's more where that came from.
I hate that.
That was
It's past right. Well, I think we're getting to that time of the night, aren't we? I mean, we're quite tired.
Yeah.
I think time for bed after the marshmallows, right? But
This is the same question we did,
yeah, I recommend you.
It's sticky, who knows all that
Yeah,
stuff off?
exactly, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
But
This is Tinder too.
we'll do one more song before bed, right? Well,
Yeah,
before we
sure,
turn it
sure.
tonight.
I'm
Well, we never finished Way to Work. Do you want to finish
Yes,
that one off?
that would
Yeah,
be nice.
you've
I
got
like
that
that
on your worksheet, so you'll sing along. Yeah. All right. Whenever you're ready, let's do it.
And that is in C.
In C.
Yes, I love C.
1, 1, 2, 3, 4. Lost my way on the way to work today. I couldn't find anything but myself. I lost my way on the way to work today. I couldn't find anything but myself. Steakhouse dishes, it's all the same as anything else going round my brain. Speaking to some people, but they don't know why. Just come along the surface, nearly making me cry. Get it all together by 1:45, and then it all starts overflowing. I don't know what to do. I lost my way on the way to work today. I couldn't find anything but myself. I lost my way on the way to work today. I couldn't find anything but myself. Congress had a session and I'm letting it in. Forced into submission from my friend Jim. Well, the kid was kind of flimsy in his big broad suit, but he held me right there like he'd nothing to lose. You don't need a manicure 10 pages deep to tell that the kid was ready to weep. I said I lost my way on the way to work today. I couldn't find anything but myself. I lost my way on the way to work today. I couldn't find anything but myself. Okay, everybody, this is the time where if you've got a coin, we're going to try and scan the QR codes on the back. We've not had a lot of success so far, so we'll see how this goes. But regardless, see how you get on. Playing just now. I'm a young grandfather and an old one too. Sleeping in the kitchen where I got the news. And I'm dreaming of harsh winters up in Texas way. Salmon with the guns to be the side of my face. And well, one's got a nickel and the other a dime. I'll happily take your order if you take mine. I said I lost my way on the way to work today. I couldn't find anything but myself. I lost my way on the way to work today. I couldn't find anything but myself. I lost my way on the way to work today. I couldn't find anything but myself. I lost my way on the way to work today. I couldn't find anything but myself. I lost my way on the way to work today. I couldn't find anything but myself. I lost my way on the way to work today. I couldn't find anything but myself. I lost my way on the way to work today. I couldn't find
Yeah.